Welcome to another episode of the GSatTrack How-To series. In this video, we're going to cover how you can troubleshoot your devices and also get a little technical about the understanding between GPS information and network information. So right now, we're looking at our live mode of our devices. And when we go and click on a device, typically the latitude and longitude will be there, and we have a clear indication of where the device was on the portal in a view that makes sense to us because we've got a map associated with it. The reason for that is because of the GPS chipset inside the device. In almost every case, a device has the ability to connect to a network, and then it also requires the ability to connect to the GPS network. GPS changes depending on where you're at in the world, what group of satellites you're using to gain this imagery. So the reason this is important is because when we start looking at our assets and we start coming over here to our indicator boxes about information that we're viewing, it is entirely possible for information to be transmitted over GSatTrack and not carry a position with it. So right here, I've got a low battery. At this time, Jeff's demo device is not able to give us the GPS fix. So I don't know its location, but I still know that the device has a low battery. That's entirely possible because the device requires that it is both connected to a network and have GPS in order to give us a fix. That doesn't mean we're not getting the information. It just means that the transmission did not carry with it the GPS information. That's important to understand. So if we look at some of Jeff's other reports, this one does carry lat and long, which means that we know that the device is transmitting quite nicely, but it isn't always carrying with it GPS. That could be from a host of different reasons. Maybe it's inside a building where it's not able to transmit out. Maybe he's getting a good signal on cellular connectivity, but that GPS isn't able to give us the information that we're seeking. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you happen to do things like go ahead and run a raw log report, which will give us all the information that's transmitted by a particular device, and I go ahead and I set it up to say for a short little bit here, we can run that. When it populates, it's going to give us all the transmissions that came across, whether they have GPS information or not. This is a good way of understanding, is my unit doing what it's supposed to? Are the transmissions coming across, but the reason it's not being displayed visually is because there's no GPS information associated with it. This report gives us a snapshot into that time frame to understand, is his device reporting continuously? Absolutely. We can see it's reporting about every 2 minutes. But it doesn't necessarily carry with a GPS fix, which means that we have something that we need to be concerned about, and we understand that the device is working properly, but even though we're not seeing the data on the portal, we're still collecting it all, which also means that you have a way to go back and look at the information being provided. It can also give you an understanding of the behaviors. So that's just a quick snapshot into talking about the difference between GPS and network connection. They're independent of one another. As long as we understand that, we can understand different information as it comes across. Maybe our devices are working the way they're supposed to, but they may require additional tuning or moving to another area just so we're able to connect with those GPS fixes. Some devices will display both on them through lights or other configuration pieces, or in some cases they don't, like a PLC, where they're just recording information in the same location all the time. Maybe you don't need that GPS information to be brought and visually shown because you know where it's at. Thank you very much. I look forward to next time.